Hi everybody, this is Tracy from Tracy's Art and Craft. So sorry. And today we're going to be sewing in the signatures into our Lacy Journal. So I have pulled together, I usually do about 10 pages of signature, somewhere around that. That's my typical go-to. So I'm going to do 2 signatures in this one. She's only got a little spine, so you don't want too many to overload it. And I'm going to do 10 signatures in each one. So I brought over 20 pages that I want to use. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start folding them in half and also sizing them. So first of all, these small pages, they just need folding in half and that's all. So yeah, today's just a really easy one. These bits here are just like ends of book page that I'm using. I've got too many there. And then next I've got some hand dyed pages. Now these are the ones that I want to size and get to the correct size so I can judge everything else by that size, if that makes sense. This will be my measuring tool. And all I'm going to do on my papers today is just tear them. So I'm just holding it up against the start of the spine here. And the spine starts about here. And then I'm just going to take my ruler, place it where I want it, and just tear off the excess. There we go, and that will tell me the size that I want. So now I can put the journal cover away and I can just go and tear around all my papers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of my hand dyed papers. These are fine, these are just cards that I've hand dyed. These are the ones that I stamped myself as well in a previous video, where I show you how to make your own sort of pretty papers. All you need to do is hand dye them and then just go ahead and stamp on them. I don't know about you guys, but I love tearing paper, just absolutely love it. Sorry about getting my hands in the way, guys. There we are. So that's those ones done also. Just going to get all this excess paper and just put it aside. You can keep this. It's good for collage, clusters and all sorts. I've said in a previous video, at the moment I'm not keeping my scraps. They get a little out of hand for me. Some I may keep because I am making clusters at the moment. So some bits I may keep, but I'm not keeping a lot. I'm not worried about white borders like I have on these papers now coming up, because it will be ripped off in a second. And I'm not worrying about this other side being white because that gives me some room to do some stenciling and all sorts, so that's not a concern for me whatsoever. I'm just line these up with that one perfectly. I'll just take another one of these for a guide. And then we just rip off the excess. Oh, this is thicker than copy weight paper, so it's a little bit hard to rip. Yeah, no, I can only do 2 at a time. And then I'll do the last one. And I like the ripped edge because it does give a really nice so I'm trying not to use my left hand, which is for me really confusing because I'm ambidextrous. But I've really hurt my left wrist. So I'm trying not to you know, move it too much because otherwise I'll end up with carpal tunnel. So there we go, there's those ones so far. Oh, I also have a couple of book pages here as well. Also, if you didn't want to tear them, you could just fold them in and make pockets that way, if you wanted to. Probably do it one at a time, it'll probably be quicker because of my wrist. There we go. These papers are from all kinds of various people. I can't give you any one person that these are from. They're from all over the place. So all my digital artists are down in the description box that I use. Feel free to pop down there. I'm not affiliated with any of them, except for I am part of the Happiness of Craft and Design team. But again, they just give me a project a month to do with one of their papers. So, you know, I mean, and I get free papers that way. But all the others I'm not affiliated with. These are just artists that I use and have tried their digitals, you know, and like them. Let's have a look at this. So that overhangs a little bit. I do want to take that off. Other than that, that's not a problem. There we go. So now we're just going to put our pages together and we can get hole punching after that. So I do want a nice decorative paper for the outside piece. So let me just look for these. Aha, here we go. So these are going to be my outside pieces. Whatever I choose to have next, yeah, it really doesn't matter at all. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4. Five. 6. I like to try to keep mine all centre if I can, but it's fine if you have one sort of low down and then the next one high up. That works just fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9 and 10. There we go. So I will just clip those together. Now the idea is for the next one, I don't want them to be the same. So there's that first one. I do want the decorative paper on the outside, but other than that, I do not want them to be the same, because I don't want it to look like there's a definite pattern going on throughout these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I've only got 9 here. Over that one I've miscounted, but that'll be fine. One short shouldn't be a problem. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nope, that was just me miscounting. I just have a pot here with a few little my clips in. This is my sort of my messy pot where I sort of dump things before putting them away. So I've got all sorts in there, beads and all sorts of things. So there we go. There's our 2 signatures put together. That quick, that simple. Now it's for the time to do the holes. Now I always start doing the holes here in the journal bind itself. Journal cover, sorry. So what I'm going to do is I kind of eyeball it. So on this one I'm going to go for 1/8. Yeah, it's too thick for me to put the metal rings through, so even though it's really, really thick, this Crocodile Big Bite does go through it really, really well. I'm not looking for perfection. All I'm doing is I'm eyeballing it just at the side here, just down here, roughly middle, and then roughly the 2 outside edges. Like I say, I'm not looking for perfection. I'm just sort of eyeballing it. There we go. So there's our holes in the back, there's our holes on the front there. And then all I do is I take my signatures, decide which way I want them round. I think I want the butterfly ones first, or I want the writing first. See which way I want them round. And then I just line up the pages where I want them, take a pencil, and just mark a little dot at the centre of each hole. If you don't have a Crocodile 2 Big Bite, I highly recommend getting one. They're really, really good. I've had mine for years and it's still going. But if you don't have one, then don't worry, you can get an awl, really sharp knitting needle, especially if you put something underneath it, like if you open up a book and you use the centre of a book, or if you put underneath it some white tack or blue tack or something, and then that works really, really well. I'm just putting my book cover out the way again, And we are just going to punch holes in this. So I'm using the small one again, it's a 1/8, and if you look when it comes down you can see, and that's where I'm looking to line up. And I just line up each dot right in the centre of that piece. And it just goes through all those papers like butter. Doesn't hurt my wrists, doesn't hurt my arms. And it's been working for years now. It just keeps going. So there we go, there's those ones done. There we go. Done, done, done. So I'm just going to take this out of the way. Get rid of this rubbish. And we're going to bring on our thread and our first signature. 1 second. Oh no, we got it. Here it is. It's my thread. So here we go. Literally losing my thread in every sense of the word. So there we go. We are going to want it to go. I always go 4. People say 3. Some say more. I like to leave some tails because sometimes I like to dangle from them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Not literally me dangle from them. I like to put dangles from them. What am I saying? Who knows? And then I'm just going to do a second one of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is just plain old cheap embroidery floss. I got it, massive bags of it. Multicoloured ones off of eBay. Not caring about the colour because I use them for sewing in signatures in this sense, but I do embroidery too. But this is just cheap embroidery floss for sewing in signatures, so I wasn't really worried. So what you want to do is you want to go in the middle. Okay, so go towards the outside, sorry, through the middle, this way. Okay, and hold your little threads down. There we go. Then you flip it over. Got all kinds of bits everywhere. And you go back in through the top. Okay, might take a little bit of a wiggle to find the top hole. There we go. Then back down through the bottom. If you need to, you can move them around. There we go. Because you tighten up at the end, so that's fine. And then, holding on to them strings tightly, you go back in on the other side through the middle. But when you go through the middle, don't split this thread. Be very careful not to split it. There we go. Just double check, make sure you haven't split the thread. Now you need each string to go either side of the bridge, if you like. So either side of this centre string here. And I'm just going to even up the strings a little. That's better. So get your pages nice and straight and give it a real tight pull. And then from there, while pulling tight, you want to tie a knot. There we go. Just give it, that's not moving too much. There's a little bit of movement, but that's not too much. I'm not too worried about that. So you go one way. I always knot 3 times. That's just what I do. And then the other way. And there we go. Take the paper clips off. So they're just going to get in the way. give it a squash one way will seem easier than the other, that always happens, and then take it the other way where it doesn't want to bend and just give it a squash. This will help train your papers to move, and now someone will be able to move the papers easily without too much fuss or bother. Okay, so that's our first signature in. So then we're going to take our next signature and go again. And I'm going to do it slowly again for you guys so you can see it. And this is just called the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. If you want your strings to go on the outside, you just go the opposite way. So instead of going from inside out, you go from outside in. Okay, but it's exactly the same process. So I'm going from inside out because that's where I want my... I'm just making sure I've got these the right way out. Yep. Have I? Yes. So we go from inside out through the middle. Ooh, hold some of them threads. Okay, and then we flip it over and we go from outside in the top. So it's middle, top. There we go. Sorry guys. Middle, top, bottom, so you have to move it so I can see it, and then middle, making sure we don't split those threads. There we go. Give it a really tight pull, not tight enough to rip the papers, but tight enough to really secure your pages in so they don't start wobbling all over the place. Embroidery floss isn't the best one to use. Best one is waxed thread. Embroidery floss can slip over time. It doesn't worry me because it takes a very long time. I've got some books that are years and years old from when I first started and they're still really tightly sewn in, so you know, it doesn't matter. I haven't noticed it matter. I haven't noticed it go wrong or anything. So here it is. I couldn't find the bone folder. I have various bone folders. I don't usually use this one. I've just got it out because I've been making some envelopes for next week's videos. So there we go. And there are our pages. It looks really thin right now, but once you decorate these up, it does get really, really thick. Now it is a bit wonky on the side here, I have noticed. If you don't like that, you can cover it. I will decide what to do about it at a later date. I'm not sure for mine, but I'll see what I like, what I want to do about that. I might cover it, to be honest. But yeah, I'll see what I want to do at a later date. That's kind of how I make my journals anyways. I sort of just roll with how they're turning out, if that makes sense. Sometimes they turn out a peach and turn out perfect, and sometimes they just turn out a disaster, and yeah, we have to keep making adjustments. But we've got those lovely pockets now, and as you can see, now that I've sewn in the signatures, there's no movement of those pockets. So the front one's bigger than the back. That's actually good. I actually like that. I think whenever people use journals, the front is where they start shoving stuff in before they put them into the journal, you know. So yeah, I like that. Yeah, and then there's all our pages. Now, like I say, it looks thin, it looks like it's not. That's exactly what you want to start with, because if it gets any thicker, you know, by the time you filled it, you're looking at about this thick. You're looking at it at least doubling, if not more. So it gives you room for decorating and things like that. So yeah, I hope you like her. At the moment she keeps springing open. She needs some time to train underneath a heavy book, so that's what I'll do, and I'll bring her back and we'll decide what we want to do with this, and then we will start decorating the inside. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I will see you next time. Bye for now. Bye.